Alexandre Luc, 33 ans, de Montréal. Il nous a appelés en vidéocall vers 11h15 de notre heure en me disant « Maman, nous sommes dans une attaque terroriste », a expliqué sa mère en entrevue avec RDI. « On a assisté à l'assassinat de notre fils », a ajouté son père. Le jeune Alexandre est allé se réfugier dans un abri avec une trentaine d'autres personnes. Des survivants qui se trouvaient avec Alexandre dans l'abri ont expliqué qu'ils avaient cherché à bloquer l'entrée du refuge, qui n'avait pas de porte. C'est ainsi qu'il aurait été victime de tirs d'armes à feu par des combattants. Une des survivantes a témoigné à propos d'Alexandre « Je vous le jure, il a été notre bouclier. S'il n'avait pas été là, nous serions tous morts. » Ce Montréalais a donné sa vie pour en sauver d'autres. Shir Georgie, 22 ans, Ben Mizakri, 22 ans, Adi Vital Kaploun, 33 ans, Neta Epstein, 21 ans, tous Canadiens. Canadians murdered in cold blood, each with a heartbreaking, terrifying story. Canadians taken hostage, each with a heartbroken and terrified family. I spoke to a father, Mr. Speaker. His voice still rings in my ear. His daughter was kidnapped, and he lays awake at night wondering if she is alive or dead. Canadians in Gaza hoping to come home, hoping to find safety. Canadians in Israel hoping to come home, hoping to find safety. You see, Mr. Speaker, there are families, many families from my community in Outremont who found themselves in Israel for the Jewish holidays. As I'm sure many members of Parliament have heard from families with loved ones understand, I have been immersed night and day, day and night, in one thing, and that is the safe return of our Canadians. I cannot describe the calls, the sirens in the background, the babies screaming, parents asking for help, parents asking to get on a plane. Our utmost priority has been the safe return of all Canadians, whether they're from Gaza, the West Bank, Israel, whether they are Muslim, Jewish, Coptic Christians, like those who flew home on our military plane just a few days ago. Our government will continue to devote ourselves to keeping all Canadians safe, and for me, that means two things: bringing our people home and keeping our country free from the hateful rhetoric and violence that flourishes anywhere and everywhere whenever we pit one community against another. I've been horrified by the explosion of hate here in Canada and around the world. In Germany, apartment buildings where Jewish people live were marked with the Star of David, a horrific echo of Nazi persecution. In Australia, a crowd of so-called protesters shouted, "Gas the Jews," over and over again, Mr. Speaker. And in the United States, a Palestinian boy, a boy of just 6 years old, was fatally stabbed 26 times. À Montréal, moins de 48 heures après le massacre en Israël, une manifestation a eu lieu qui célébrait l'attaque terroriste de Hamas comme un acte de résistance. Il y a quelques jours, des jeunes de l'Université de Montréal ont partagé leur peur avec moi. Certains se font harceler, certains m'ont supplié de faire appel à la SPVM en leur nom. Des parents angoissés qui craignent pour la sécurité de leurs enfants. Ça se passe ici, chez nous, à Montréal. The position that Canada has taken is the position of all Western democracies. It is the only position that could allow the rules-based order to survive. It is to defend your territory. It is to defend your people against terror. Should a terrorist organization enter our country's borders and attack Canadians, would we not respond? Yes, we would, Mr. Speaker. I want to be crystal clear. Do Palestinians in Gaza, who had nothing to do with the massacre by Hamas, have the right to access food, water, and fuel? Without a doubt, absolutely. Should there be a humanitarian corridor? Absolutely. Should there be safe passage to neighboring countries such as Egypt? Of course there should be. But as a Canadian government, our priority is to defend Canadians. And Mr. Speaker, we too were attacked. Canadians have been taken hostage by this terrorist organizations. Canadians have died at the hands of these terrorist organizations, and those responsible need to be stopped. Because if anyone in this House of Commons aspires to peace, has hopes for a just and lasting resolution, dreams of a two-state solution, of a Palestinian state living side by side of an Israeli state, then Hamas must be destroyed.